2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday the 1st of March and it's Pancake Day. And a big happy birthday to Justin Bieber, Paul Hollywood, Kesha and Nick Kershaw. Monday saw peace talks take place between Russia and Ukrainian representatives in Belarus. The talks ended with an agreement to continue talking, but Russia seems to have stepped up its bombardment of key cities, and 70 Ukrainian soldiers were reported killed in a strike on a military base overnight. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has called for an immediate EU membership for Ukraine. He says that he's signed an application form and asks for a speedy response, but it's not a straightforward process requiring a vote from all 27 member countries. Meanwhile, an emergency session of the UN General Assembly heard the UN Secretary-General demand an immediate ceasefire as French President Emmanuel Macron again spoke with Vladimir Putin by phone. Ukrainian Ambassador Sergei Kyslytsya wasn't pulling any punches when it came to his view of President Putin and his threats of nuclear war.
If he wants to kill himself, he doesn't need to use nuclear arsenal. He has to do what the guy in Berlin did in a bunker in May 1945.
He also took a moment to read messages from the phone of a Russian soldier who died in combat.
Mama, I'm in Ukraine. I'm afraid. We were told that they would welcome us. They are falling under our armored vehicles. They call us fascists. Mama, this is so hard.
The whole world was alarmed by Vladimir Putin's threat of nuclear escalation at the weekend, and it turns out, according to Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov, it was this comment from Liz Truss about people from the UK joining the war effort in Ukraine that sparked the alarm.
And absolutely, if people want to support that struggle, I would support them in doing that.
Various ministers issued hasty corrections, including Minister for Defence Ben Wallace and Minister for Armed Forces James Heappey. But Chancellor Rishi Sunak says it's nonsense and Russia's just trying to escalate tensions.
Of course that's rubbish. The Foreign Secretary is doing a brilliant job galvanising international opinion to mobilise support for sanctions against the Putin regime, and I think she should be fully commended for her efforts in doing that.
The Russian economy came under serious pressure on Monday as wave after wave of sanctions hit the Russian banking network and the ruble. The G7 finance ministers meet on Tuesday to consider further sanctions as another giant oil company, Shell, announced that it's divesting its interest in Russian energy giant Gazprom, which are worth about $3 billion. Foreign Secretary Liz Truss announced more measures in the House of Commons.
This is all about flushing out the oligarchs' dirty money from the United Kingdom, depriving Putin of his key source of revenue.
All of these sanctions will, however, come with a cost for motorists in the UK as UK petrol prices pass the £1.50 mark for the first time. Simon Williams, RAC fuel spokesman, says there's no good news in sight.
Even before the Ukraine situation, prices were rising. Oil production was out of kilter with the rising demand. This has only compounded matters. As long as there's conflict in Ukraine, there's going to be higher prices. We were in that space already, so unfortunately I think it's going to hit people's pockets for some considerable time to come.
While war in Ukraine may be drawing everyone's attention, the other global crisis hasn't gone away. A new report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change is sounding serious alarm bells about the amount of time humanity has left to make changes to avoid the worst effect of global warming. The report says humans and nature are being pushed beyond their abilities to adapt. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres says we're at a crisis point.
I've seen many scientific reports in my time, but nothing like this. Nearly half of humanity is living in the danger zone now. Many ecosystems are at the point of no return now. The present global energy mix is broken. Fossil fuels are a dead end for our planet, for humanity, and yes, for economies.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Russia gets the red card from FIFA and UEFA, and Matt Hancock is back. Right after this. Welcome back. 3,
There was no good news for Russia in the world of sport on Monday, with football clubs including Man United terminating sponsorships with Russian companies and the International Olympic Committee calling for bans on Russian and Belarusian athletes. UEFA and FIFA also took action, suspending all Russian clubs and national teams from all of their competitions, including the World Cup. In the Premier League, Leeds United's new manager was unveiled, Jesse Marsch, who joins from Red Bull Leipzig after a career in US soccer ball. He's certainly a different character from fan favourite Marcelo Bielsa and his ever-present translator.
Obviously, I'm excited, but I'm very focused on the task at hand. I know that, the situation's not exactly what anyone had envisioned when the season started. But I have my energy. I'm focused, and I'm ready to go to do whatever it takes to help this team.
He was the health secretary through the early days of the pandemic until a leaked CCTV photo showed him breaking COVID guidelines with a work colleague. Now he's relegated to the back benches, but Matt Lavish Holidays Hancock is back. Speaking to Steve Bartlett on the Diary of a CEO podcast, he was still a bit sensitive about the way the whole affair unfolded.
In September 2020, there was guidance given to stop us having casual sex with people outside of our household, etc., etc.
I haven't had casual sex with anybody.
Okay.
I fell in love with somebody. There's a way that we can do this bit of the conversation, but we cannot do it with you starting talking about casual sex. This bit is really hard for me as well.
I completely understand. I completely understand. I actually haven't asked the question yet.
This is
The new trailer for The Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore's dropped. Oh, God, not again. Yes, Jude? Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Okay, thanks. Sorry, guys. It stars Jude Law, who's pretty excited about it, clearly, along with Mads Mikkelsen, Michael Gambon and Eddie Redmayne. It hits cinemas on April the 15th.
I'm sorry to disturb you, Albus, but I've just received troubling news.
Tell me, what is it?
It's Grindelwald.
The time is close, my brothers and sisters. Our war with the Muggles begins today!
The world as we know it is coming undone. If we're to defeat him, you'll have to trust me.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.